Welcome to July 25th, 2019 Planning Board meeting. The first item in the agenda is conceptual. Mr. Hayfield would like to speak to the board regarding the proposed use of the old speedway. Come on up, sir.
There's some information if you need.
All right. My name is Alex Hayfield. I'm here to get some more information about what I need to present to you guys for a change of use of 197 South Sugar Hill, which is the old Sugar Hill Speedway. I plan on just briefly moving my, to describe what I want to do there is basically I want to move my landscape company that I currently lease land down in the industrial park up there. So it would not be a go-kart track. It would just be for storing equipment, loam, materials like that, just like one dump truck load, you know, just landscape supplies that I'm going to be using on job sites. Storing equipment, there will be no changes to the property, to the buildings. I'd also be using it to store and process our firewood. Be stored on the existing pavement that's already there, the track, and other existing pavement that's already on the site. It's tax map 406, lot number 3. It's commercial zoning. And yeah, that's basically about it.
What is that? Somewhere in here. I can't find even Sugar Hill. I want to check the zoning.
It's the lot right at the corner. Sugar Hill. It's weird. It's right down at the corner.
I know exactly where it is.
Yeah, I do too.
It was at 1.2 lots, and one lot showed up on a different tax map, but it's
The pink?
Yes,
the corner of South Sugar Hill Road, and I believe it's called Sewell Hoyt.
yes,
Got it.
zone commercial.
There's only one parcel?
Say it again?
There's only one parcel?
Yes, one parcel.
One lot.
9.34 acres.
The zoning map shows, okay, you get the one at the corner, not the other one. Okay,
This is on the northeast corner,
Of
the intersection of Sugar Hill and, what's the other one?
Sewell Hoyt,
so, yes,
northeast, yes.
And it's one lot, 9.34
3-4 acres. Yep.
Okay. We're talking about the same thing.
yes. So it's not including this lot.
Too bad.
I think we just like the racetrack.
You live there, it would be so nice.
Yeah.
Where's commercial?
Well, the first question is it allowed use? You would think so, but I'm not sure.
You're reading Article 24?
Yes.
You're going to store equipment.
Yep.
That's it.
We're going to store equipment. We're going to run our company out of there. Park vehicles there, trucks.
You have an office.
Say it again?
You're going to have an office.
No, I'm not. Nope. It's basically going to utilize the garage that's already there on site, and we're going to use it as basically staging, storage, that kind of thing.
Repairs of vehicles?
Mower maintenance, like lawnmower maintenance, that kind of thing. Minor stuff. It's not going to be a commercial, like it's, if any repairs are going to happen, it would be on personal fleet vehicles, but I don't really do any repairs myself, so. The sole purpose of it is basically to, like I was saying, a staging area and also for us to store our processed firewood on the existing asphalt that is currently that racetrack and other miscellaneous, just pallets of extra pavers and wall block from job sites.
We're looking at Article 24. The allowed uses are whatever's allowed in the R and RA. Then you got public utility services, agriculture, boarding or rooming houses, etc. Retail and service establishments, not including but not limited to grocery, drugstore, general merchandise, furniture, apparel, specialty goods, tobacco, newspapers, books, gifts, flowers, barber shop, beauty shop, shoe repair, laundry pickup agencies, self-service laundromat, restaurants, indoor recreational facilities, and similar uses. Then you got office establishments, motor vehicle and equipment sales and service, excluding junkyards. But you're not gonna have an office, so that eliminates 3.6. The retail and service, I don't think fits. Certainly aren't selling motor vehicles.
Well, he has a service establishment, doesn't he?
Yeah. You know, it's mobile service, he goes out and,
Well,
should be
2435 seems
allowed.
to have one thing in common in all of the examples. It's retail. In
Right.
other words,
Yeah.
you're selling or servicing something to you
offering a
or to me
service, yeah.
as a,
I think he's,
but he's not doing that.
why?
He's storing equipment.
But he's offering a service, that's where his equipment is parked, but he goes out and he does lawn service for people, he's
He's
doing
not doing
landscaping.
he's not doing the service on site.
No,
He's not no retail or service on site.
unless you call processed firewood that he does, and somebody calls and he gets the firewood, loads it, and brings it to him, you know, then it's,
Yeah.
What does it say on site, though?
retail service equivalent, sorry, general merchandise, apparel, tobacco, newspaper. Yeah, it doesn't say actually has to be on site, just says he's there to offer retail.
Well,
services.
everything they mention's on site. I think it should be allowed, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it should be.
I'm
Doesn't
looking,
mean it is. It's just
I'm looking at Article 25, industrial.
Yeah, I am too.
It's not there either.
Right.
Well, I think we're going to have to be more expansive in our interpretation of 2435.
Well, he's got, if you look under industrial, it could also fit under 25.3.2, assembly of previously prepared materials.
That's not,
Well, I mean, he's bringing in previously prepared materials to get out.
Firewood?
I was thinking of.
Pavers.
Jack,
you know.
look at
He's not assembling
2536.
them, though.
Yeah, distribution, plants, service, industries, I think that the plants.
What's our code enforcement officer think?
I assume that there was going to be some type of office there, so somebody could call and say, I need a truckload of loam, so I was going under.
I mean, if an office
office
needs to be there, then I'll get a
Well,
phone line and everything that needs.
in one of the buildings?
Yeah, that's not, I kind of figured that the processing and storing of firewood was almost under a rural agricultural standpoint, being kind of an aspect of utilizing a natural piece of, like product, meaning like farmland is kind of like rural agricultural, and forest products is a similar, because under rural ag, it mentions forest products or forestry.
Harvesting and storage of forest products, yes.
Yeah.
So that was where I got the interpretation of that, but.
And 2431 says, any permitted uses in residential and rural is allowed in commercial as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was assuming I could call your office phone number and come down.
And what do you
I mean, it could be, but we haven't gotten that far as
What do you do now if somebody wants to,
they call me.
cell phone?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I mean, technically, I guess I could be at the office sometimes, but I'm not,
Your office is out there on four wheels, right?
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Your truck, yeah, I know.
So I guess it's a little, yeah.
Well, as far as the wood is concerned, I think he's okay on that.
Yeah, the firewood.
1734 says it's allowed in rural agricultural, and as Jack said, where is that? Which section was that, Jack?
Which one? Oh, 25, was it the one I read? 25, point 3.6, point 3.6, distribution plants.
No, the one that said anything allowed in,
Oh,
No, 2431.
2431, yep.
got it. So that's not an issue. The question is the outside storage of all of this stuff.
Well, I mean, storing loom,
No, not just loam, but he's talking about vehicles.
well, he
There'd be a
packed-
total of, I have 4 trucks, and
They're all going to be stored outside.
I guess, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Tell me about the current situation on the Speedway.
What would you like to know about it?
All right, is there equipment stored outside now in connection with the Speedway?
Equipment meaning motor vehicles? No. What there's there now is just fencing, there's
What
job
was-
site trailer there.
When it was being used?
I couldn't tell you. I really wasn't of age at that point to like,
Used to have a
like,
sweeper up there.
I'd never been there before, that.
We're here to support Alex. There was equipment outside.
Yeah, they used to-
There was equipment all stored in the garages, so
They
What
had-
was outside?
they had all their lawn equipment, they made, all the maintenance equipment for the track.
For the track, yeah, they had like a
And
sweeper and a small grader and stuff like that out there at one point.
But you're gonna be storing, quote, motor vehicles.
Me?
Yes.
I will
You're-
be
you're-
storing, yeah, trucks
Yeah.
and trailers, correct.
Your employees to come and get and take.
Yeah.
Motor vehicle sales and service, excluding junkyards, is allowed.
Is that in commercial?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's not selling them, but he's packing them. I guess that's servicing them. You could service them there.
Change your oil? You change your own oil?
I guess if I have time, I mean, it's busy, so I normally have a mechanic in town do it, but
Let's assume that,
But you're gonna do it on your own equipment, the mowers and so forth.
the mowers, yeah, but that's contained inside that garage.
Yeah,
That's,
okay.
we're not gonna be out doing,
Yeah.
I've also done everything as far as I've had environmental done on the property, so there's that past, so it's all free and all that and clear.
let's imagine that he was going to have a business where he was selling lawn equipment, okay? Lawn mowers, tractors, things like that. And in connection with that, he does repairs. And because he's a smart businessman, he has a couple of trucks that he uses to go to the client's site and do the repairs there. That certainly would be legitimate under the ordinance, right?
I think, yeah.
So he's doing everything except selling from that site.
Well, if somebody calls him for wood, he's selling it.
Right,
If somebody calls him for loam, he's taking it and selling it.
Right, but the other thing.
That's why I was asking if he was servicing. He doesn't have to sell and service, I don't believe. One
No,
or
he
the
just
other.
has to sell.
No, but he's not doing it for others. It's,
I know, that's the problem.
right. So it seems to me that what he's doing is allowed. If he were doing the selling from that building, everything that he's doing would be permitted. So why would he not be permitted to do it if he's
Not so.
doing less than the section allows?
If I wanted to buy a quart of firewood from you, could I come over and pick it up?
Yes.
Good answer.
He hesitated for a second, yeah.
I think one way or another, this is the kind of thing that's allowed in a commercial district. And if we,
I can't imagine any place else.
Right.
You were
Where
down on
else
B
would
and
you
B
put
Lane
it?
before,
Yep.
and did you have an office or anything?
No, just land space.
Just land.
Just leased land space, yep.
This one you're gonna own.
Yeah, I bought it yesterday.
Oh, so, okay. Good view.
Could you tell us why you're supporting this rather than opposing it?
We'd rather
Please-
have Alex.
Please come to the podium, thank you.
And having the racetrack.
My name is Amy Shannon. I live across the street. We would rather have Alex there with his lawn equipment and landscaping than a racetrack. So,
Somehow I thought that was going to be your answer.
Let me elaborate for my wife.
Sure.
My name is Rob Shannon. I'm the owner of that house at 178 South Sugar Hill Road. When we bought the house, we understood the track was going to be there. Track became quite an annoyance, and it expanded, and they were starting to have issues with oil and environmental issues bleeding closer to our property and across the land. I know Alex as a hardworking gentleman who has a nice business and is doing quite well. The other reason we prefer to have someone like Alex there is that the ice cream stand at the top of the road creates quite a bottleneck of cars, and it's very dangerous to have anything that has a lot of vehicles coming and going, and especially something like a racetrack where they would leave the race day and have all this energy and amped up, and they would speed up the road or speed down the road, and it's just dangerous for everybody. Alex is welcome. We do abut, and an environmental, agricultural business like his and landscaping certainly be welcome on our road. The road really is more. There's farms, there's cows, and we have more walkers, hikers, bikers, and pets and kids than you might know. I work from my home. I have a front room of the house, and I watch what goes on all day long. Horses, dogs, runners, walkers, and all that. So Alex would be a very low impact, and welcome to our neighborhood.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Imagine that Alex is wildly successful. And he has lots of people coming to pick up cordwood, and lots of his trucks going out to deliver the cordwood, and lots of logging trucks bringing in cordwood because he's got so much, because he's so successful. And his fleet, instead of being 4 vehicles, is 24 vehicles. Okay? Wildly successful.
Yep, I
Are you
understand.
still a happy camper?
I am. I'll tell you why. Those aren't vehicles that are going to be having late-night parties. They're not going to be camping out. These people have their job to do. They'll grab their vehicle and they'll go for the day. It's more of a low impact where it's in the morning and back in the evening. And I do not see, God bless Alex, he'll do a great job, but I think he'll outgrow that property when they get to the point of being wildly successful. And I think he's wildly successful right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, on a standpoint of what he was saying about the vehicle traffic, his name was Mark, he came to the planning board, and there could be, at a maximum, there could be 130 cars in a guest parking lot, 98 cars in a pit parking lot, and 10 campers with cars and trailers, and, for all that standpoint. So, I guess on a standpoint of vehicle traffic, my impact is going to be substantially less, no matter what, and even if I do get that large, which there will be no chance in, because I want to have a life, and I don't want to be married to this more than I already am. So, I'm local, and I just want to stay the way I am, and like he was saying, if for some reason I become 24 vehicles, then that's not the site for me. I probably found a better place up in Sunapee area or Winnipesaukee where there's more money to be made, I guess. But I guess that's my standpoint on that.
Thank you.
Yep.
So what does he need from us?
So the question was, I wasn't sure how long the Speedway was out of business, whether it would be classified, you could expedite an application, or strictly change of use, or full site plan. I wasn't sure which application to guide Alex on. He started doing his paperwork already as if it was a change of use.
What's your time schedule? What's your time
For what?
To get in there.
to get in there?
As soon as possible. Like I was saying, I bought it yesterday, so whenever it gets going, it gets going.
You mean you acquired the property yesterday?
Yeah, I own it, yeah. I don't plan on doing, there's gonna be no dirt work done on site. There's gonna be no changes to permeable space, and there'll be no changes to buildings and/or garages. So the site's gonna stay the way it is, other than, I don't know if any of you have driven by it, but we plan on trying to clean it up and make it look a little more presentable and not like it's been abandoned. But that's just more or less aesthetics, just to make it look.
That'd be a good idea for a landscaping company.
I would think so. It might take time, because it's a larger property and it's been neglected, but, yeah.
In
Well,
my-
there was somebody in here last year.
Want to reopen it again.
Reopen it.
Yeah.
I heard
So
that.
they claimed that there was enough racing going on there so that it grandfathered whatever, I guess that's the term. So I mean, I guess you would proceed, the same thing to do is proceed thinking that a year ago it did qualify to reopen as a racetrack. Because we don't have any information contrary to that.
I would say it'd be a change
So
of
it
use.
would be a change of use
Yeah,
then?
and I think that would probably,
And we
it would
we
make it a little
started
easier
that.
for him too to, at this point, I
Yeah.
would say, to get himself up.
He
and-
knows what he needs for a change of use, and the deadline to have paperwork in was August 1st to come in for the August hearing, and I think he's prepared for that.
Good.
If that's the route you want to
Yeah,
go,
it's-
change of
I
use.
think that's probably the best route, and I think the most expeditious route for him to, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a home. Not the, as far as,
No,
he's got all
instead
his
of-
ducks in a row, it seems like
Yeah,
at
we
this
have to
point.
recheck the abutters from the
Yep.
old list.
Well, you've already heard from one, so,
Right?
so.
Question for the board, would anybody want to do a site walk out there?
No.
No, I've been by there hundreds of times.
I've driven
and
by
I've actually been out on the property hundreds of times in my past career.
Racing?
No,
Oh.
going there because of traffic complaints. They used to have security, they used to have to put security in there.
Oh, when you were a state,
Yeah, that was part of my duties at one
Yeah,
point. We had
state
security
director.
guards, they had licensed security guards in there at one point. There was
so you won't need.
a lot going on. Plus, there was a lot of money going through there at that time too, back in the
Oh, yeah.
70s and into the early 80s. Used to
Okay.
run quite
Okay,
a.
anything
quite a
else?
That's about it.
So
Okay.
change of use, and I'll see you before or on August 1st.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
few. Hey,
you.
good luck.
How long has your business been going on?
This is my 7th year.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay,
you.
thank you. Yep, no, thank you for coming in.
We have a variance or a Class 6 driveway we look at. Class 6 road being used for a driveway.
Plus 6.
That's the information that I did send you.
Did everybody get this?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so. Was
You
in the
guys get it?
email.
And I know
It was in
about,
the group email, it was attached with the agenda.
oh, it might be, I left my.
Oh, it was with the agenda?
Yeah?
I must have missed that.
Oh,
I saw there was something, my phone's out in the car, it's got it on it, so.
would you like to use this one for now? And I think
Thank you.
I know,
Craig
but-
has one too.
You got something?
Yeah, I got that.
Oh, wait, this I saw.
Yeah, it's the
But
land on Sawyer
This,
Road.
but not the rest of it. I got a copy of
Yeah.
the notice of decision.
Oh,
I did not get anything else.
Well-
I didn't think it applied.
That's weird.
Well, the
that's
thing
weird,
is,
'cause we got
you know,
that
to
back
turn a,
agenda.
we're going through that now with Worley Road. We're turning a Class 6 road into a driveway, and the town attorney goes,
Is he,
not driveway specs, it's gotta meet the road specs.
No, this is
Well-
Sawyer Road. There were, there's the shared drive.
On Worthley, we recommended these
Yeah.
driveway specs for the width
Yeah, well, that's
and the
not-
road
that-
specs for the
that
cross-section.
got turned down.
No.
It has to go to the Board of Selectmen, and
Great.
and we turned it down.
Okay.
It's gonna meet the road specs. You know, the first few hundred feet where that other one was, but 1,300 feet,
Pavement?
no. Not pavement, but it's gotta meet road specs, and it's the width They bring it up so it's passable, they got emergency equipment, but
Well, the
they gotta
driveway's supposed to
maintain
make it
it.
passable, technically. But anyway,
Are you Mr. Renaud?
Yes.
Maybe we could hear from him?
sure. Come on up, sir.
Could you explain to us
Yes.
what the situation is and what you want to do?
Yes, I'll do my best. I'm not that well prepared. I think it was last November that I applied for a variance on that property and was approved. And I think it was Naomi that I talked with back in November. So quite a bit of time has lapsed between now and then. And at that time, she said that she would get back in touch with me in terms of getting people out there to look at the land in terms of maybe the driveway, or, so she basically told me, I think it was Chip that, the town told me not really to do anything until I got further approval.
Could you confirm that this is the house?
Yeah, that's one of the lots here, yes, and that is where the driveway is.
And so your driveway would go onto the existing Sawyer Jewett Road? I'm not sure what it is at that point.
That is correct, yeah.
Yep.
And again, this was all surveyed about 25 years ago and approved by the town to be subdivided as well.
Right. Okay, thank you.
I know it was discussed back in November, there was culvert issues that had to
What-
be dealt with out there. We dealt with it here.
There's a real problem with
Yes.
Sawyer Road and Jewett Road,
Yeah.
but
And I went, I don't know, I went out there in November, after we had some snow at one point, I know we were supposed to go out and take a look at it.
Yeah, I know, we had a sidewalk scheduled on Sunday, and I had pneumonia, so I couldn't make it, but Neil and Bruce were there.
right, for
I
this
took
lot,
a
the
ride
lot
out.
next to his.
Yeah.
I believe
The
so.
one next to it, and I remember.
There's
I
a
went
real
out there.
problem over here with the culvert.
That's right, it's too small
So,
to be replaced.
We recommended the culvert be replaced and extended,
That's
I
right.
believe.
And that ditching be done along the road. to
The
take
culvert
care
would
of
be
it.
sized by an engineer and reviewed by our.
And
engineer.
approved by the highway
but
superintendent.
does that in any way affect Mr. Renaud?
Which one is he on the tax map?
He's right here.
Well, I mean,
Where's Brent? Where's the?
the other thing is that there's that maintenance agreement for them to maintain the road out there once they start doing that. Is there one in place? I mean, we just got a decision, a 4-page decision from the town attorney from Drescher on Class 6 roads and building on them.
What did it say?
Basically, that they have to build the road up and have a maintenance agreement in place, that who's gonna maintain that. We don't wanna end up in the same situation that we end up with, I haven't got the exact words in front of me, because it was quite wordy.
I can't imagine.
As Bill can be, but basically, it's like, do you wanna set yourself up for failure to have another East Shore Drive, where,
So,
Well, my question is, how can we force existing people to sign on to a maintenance agreement? Because all they're gonna do is say no, and then he's not gonna get a building permit.
well, I mean, the maintenance agreement for other people to be out there, who's gonna maintain that road? The town is not.
Right, I understand that.
So,
I'm not saying they should.
And that's one of the issues. They had a maintenance agreement up there at East Shore Drive, and they turn around and, the individual people who live there, and then some of them say, oh, I'm not gonna do it, so then they're crying. They've come to the meeting, well, no, we're not gonna maintain it. That's up to you folks to work that out, so, there's a whole criteria for that, and I don't have it right in front of me.
No,
But I think the thing, that if we just let it go
so
as a driveway, I mean, no, it's a town road, it's not a
I
driveway.
understand everything you're saying about the maintenance agreement. I just don't see how, let's make an assumption, we have 6 houses. I
Yeah.
don't remember how many there were. 6 existing houses. We need to get all these existing people to sign a maintenance agreement, and him to sign a maintenance agreement. So we need 7 signatures.
Yeah.
If I'm one of those 6, and I don't want somebody to live moving in beside me, I'm gonna say, no, I'm not gonna sign it. Poof.
Well,
Because I don't sign a maintenance agreement, he can't get a building permit. That's wrong. In my
I mean,
opinion.
he's looking to subdivide that and put how many houses?
No, he's
on the
not.
lot?
He's not
Just one?
subdividing anything.
Just one house?
This is 2.26 acres.
Okay,
already been
well, I
sub-
mean, he said something about was
Well,
subdivided.
it was subdivided and approved
and approved
25 years ago.
25 years ago.
as,
There are a
with the
whole bunch
intent-
of houses
There's a whole
on
bunch of
Sawyer.
them. Yeah, I know.
What's it
Yeah.
gonna be, a class 5 dirt?
They've got to bring it up to some specification to that, close to class 5 dirt, yeah, so at least it's passable, it's able to be, you've also got to look for emergency services, and, you have a fire out there, you're going to get a fire truck or an ambulance, and these roads, well, you went out there, you know what it's like in that time of year, if you get a lot of water.
Let me
You're not going to get a fire truck without getting stuck, or a police cruiser, or some emergency vehicle. And we went through that with the issue on Lake Road, that it got so bad for the fire department, you had to get the town to go out there and actually plow it just for that and sand it so they could get a fire truck out there.
Let me understand what Drescher told you folks and the selectmen.
Yep.
And what the selectmen's position is.
Yep.
There will be no further driveway or building permits issued on this Class 6 road until such time as the road is brought up to Class 5 specs,
Yep.
and there is a maintenance agreement
for other people who's gonna
for
maintain
all of
this
the
road.
people who
That's
are
right.
on that road, to maintain the road.
In some way, that it's made sure that it's plowed, that it's kept from being
Yeah, we're just.
ruddy.
I think a
You may
petition
have a
was filed.
copy of that.
Okay,
I don't
and
know.
let's,
Not with me, but I have a copy
Yeah,
of the
it's-
RSA that, the
And there's an
attorney
RSA
proposed.
that covers that.
and let's go back to Craig's point. Mr. Raynaud is the 7th, and there probably will be an 8th, 9th, and a 10th.
Yeah.
The first 6, for whatever reason, did not have to bring the road up to specs and did not have to sign a maintenance
Right.
agreement. Okay?
But-
Is there some way, under statute, that the selectmen can compel these people?
There is a term, and I forget what they call it, but basically, they have a thing, it has to do with taxation. It's
An assessment?
Betterment?
betterment assessment, for that road. And I mean, the biggest problem is that you can do that, but it's gonna raise an issue. Either way you do it, it's gonna raise an issue. And this is gonna get out of control. It's already out of control in places. I mean, and I know what he's saying, and I feel for him, but the thing is we've already got a real conundrum with some of this. I mean, East Shore Drive is the most and then we had somebody came into the selectmen a few weeks ago and said, well, that road was rutted up. Well, there's somebody doing construction up there, and they went up at a certain time, and the road, got rutted up because of the dump trucks going in it. Well, you guys are gonna fix it. No. Well, that road's not surveyed. We don't know where the boundaries are. Yeah, we do. The road has been surveyed. The road, you know where the boundaries are. That road was deeded with the boundaries and what the width is, and it's, in the deed from Osborne. And, if they want, I don't think they want to open that can of worms, because, the town, it's gonna cost the taxpayers a lot of money. They're gonna get another assessment added to it, and because of that, there's gonna be property that's gonna be either moved, or the road's gonna be moved, there's gonna be road taken, because they built into the town right away.
Yep.
They've got septic systems in the town right away. They've got piping under the road, so, I mean,
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of
there's a
problems.
lot up there, so, I mean, this is what happens if we don't watch out. It started out as camps way back when, and now they
It's not just East Road, it's all the way around the lake.
it's all the way around the lake. But
Well-
that's the biggest example.
Road's
Let's just talk about what's
So-
facing us.
And that's
So-
what we could have the
So
here.
if Mr. Raynaud comes to the selectmen and says, look, I want to build here.
Yep.
I understand that I have to sign the maintenance agreement and I have to bring the road up to Class 5 standards. But obviously, I can't afford to do it on my own. I'd like to have the other people who will benefit from this help out. Would you, the Board of Selectmen, institute through this betterment assessment process,
Yep.
whatever is necessary to force these people to pay into a fund to
It's
bring the
possi-
road up to specs?
There's a possibility that could happen, but it'd have to be by petition to bring it forth to the town. I mean, he'd have to come before the town and petition us to
You
do
can't,
that.
the selectman cannot do this on his own? on
I
their
don't
own?
know if we can go and actually tell them that. We have to do,
How can you force somebody to upgrade it? Assuming it's a private road, how can you force somebody to upgrade a private
not
road?
a private
It's not a
road,
private
I know,
road, it's a town road.
I realize that.
Town road.
But the town has no maintenance responsibility, so how can you force somebody else to maintain it?
Well, they're supposed to, the statute says, what does the RSA say? You have it in front of you on that.
I just shouldn't have said maintain, I should say upgrade.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can force an existing landowner to upgrade that road.
As
Well,
the
As a
price,
condition of him moving in.
as the price.
No,
for
that's what you're
continue-
doing.
As the
Because
price
he's
for
moving in.
continuing to live there. They could do the same
You're gonna
thing
kick
even if
me
you
out
did.
because I didn't maintain my road? That's what you're saying, continue to live there. So now you're gonna kick me out because I didn't maintain my driveway, the private road, the class 6 road?
You went on a class 6 road, man. You understood
been
the
there for
risks.
15 years.
That's fine. You got away with it for 15 years.
Now you're gonna kick me out because I don't wanna can't maintain my road to your spec?
It's time for you to pay the piper. The bar bill is coming due.
Because I don't wanna maintain the town specs, you're gonna kick me out.
No, we're not gonna kick
You may
out.
get,
We're
you
gonna-
may get an extra
We're gonna have an
assessment.
assessment on your taxes.
A minute ago, you said you were to continue to live
you
there,
can't-
but.
no.
anyway.
No, I don't mean literally.
Okay.
But, you know, you could get the betterment assessment.
I think we need to talk to Drescher.
Yeah, he's got a 6-page thing, he gets
Can
explained it
you
all.
send us a copy of
She-
that?
Kelly should have a copy of it.
But I have the RSA right there.
And you also have a
Drescher's
copy
there.
of
Yeah, the
Drescher's
Drescher thing.
wordy,
Am I allowed to pass out a legal confidential document, or I have to check with Naomi?
check with Naomi.
But if you can, we'd like to see a copy of it.
But I don't think that's that confidential, well, it was dealing with the
Yeah,
thing on
but
Woodley Road. But check with her just to be
I
sure.
would feel
don't-
better checking with her, because
Yep.
it's stamped legal confidential, so.
Yeah.
Would it be possible if the 6 or 7 or 10, how many people are there, agreed to bring the road up to class 5 dirt specs, if in fact the selectmen would accept the road as a town road? That-
Well, if they're gonna accept it as a town road, then they have to meet the other specs, and I think part of it to be accepted as a town road, don't we require now that they be paved and so forth?
That's up to the selectmen.
Yeah, and I don't know if we want to accept.
They're
it
not
at
doing a
this point.
subdivision, so you don't have to build the subdivision specs. That's up to the selectmen how
But I
far they
don't
have to
know
go.
if we, I don't know, then again, I don't know if the town wants to do that, put the burden back on the taxpayer.
Well, most
For
of the burden
maintenance, you
would-
mean?
For maintenance and taking that road over, for us to maintain it and keep it.
If it was
How-
done
how
correctly,
much-
maintenance would be.
Well, who knows if it's done correctly? That we
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know.
How long,
I mean, I
how
would
long a road are we talking about here?
How long a road?
We're talking from 149 up to his lot?
Oh, no, and it goes all the way
Well, no,
beyond
but
it.
he's not gonna worry about, he's not gonna worry about beyond his house. He's worried about his house.
Yeah, but I mean,
But in order for that to work, people beyond his house have to participate.
yeah.
Yeah,
His
they
house is
would.
out beyond that.
That's not his problem.
It is his problem.
No, it's not. If he brings Jewel Road up to town specs to his driveway, why does he carry about 1 foot past his
Yeah, well, after
driveway?
that point, then it'd come under whoever wants it back.
That's somebody else's
And
problem.
that, it'd be under that.
Jewett Road is not a class 5 road? Is
That's, I
not a
believe-
class 5 road?
No, I don't believe it is. I
So
don't-
he'd
I
have to bring,
look.
and that's, what, 1,000 feet from you to Route
How-
149?
How far, yeah, how far is it on, from
It looks like it says 780 to his property line.
780 feet?
Yeah.
So, okay.
800 feet.
And then it's another so I mean,
Do you know if there was another one done like this, another road, or in the past, anything that we could go by?
no, they just let them do it before. I mean, you go to, you've been up on Blake Road. I mean, and that connects out to Boyce Road if you're able to get by Wilson's.
780.
But that's,
But I did, yeah, I've gone down.
Yeah.
We're 760.
so that's,
Yeah, 780, but it's not clear where that is, too. That
Well,
could
that's
be
the-
just to
that's the
this
front- Yeah,
dot.
that's the frontage on his property, on that.
Yeah, but then he
adjacent
still
property.
would have to bring it
Oh,
up.
yeah.
I think it's something that we have to look into more.
But you're probably talking a couple $100,000 for him,
Well, I mean,
not talking to anybody else, not talking to the rest of
no,
them.
what about, does anybody ahead of him before you get to him?
Just one house,
Yeah.
one lot.
Oh, really?
Well, there's,
Well, there's two, one on each side of the road. Excuse me.
They're occupied, the house?
I don't know.
Just sold, I think that's a while. For one of our former town employees and a town employee.
Well, the dot would mean it's occupied, right?
Yep.
really?
So it's 780
1,
feet with
2,
3 people would be
3.
responsible.
4, this is Sawyer, right?
Yes.
So,
Well,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
well, now you're
11,
talking,
12, 13, there are 13,
now you're talking 2,000 feet of road.
15
Quarter of a mile.
lots that
Maybe
border
more.
the road.
Yeah.
And they have houses on them.
Not all of them.
How many have houses?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7.
7. Where's 8? Yeah, 8. 8 of the 13.
More than half.
You're thinking $200,000?
Just to get to his property, I'm thinking about,
2,000 feet
it's
of
gonna be a
road,
couple hundred,
bringing
it's
it up,
gonna be a couple of $100 a foot.
just to, not to pave it, just to
Well,
bring it up.
maybe a little less to pave, not to pave it.
No paving, just
No, I'm
bring it
talking
up
no
to class
paving,
5.
just class 5 dirt,
I bet you're talking $100 a foot anyway.
yeah?
So if it's 2,000 feet,
Depending on what the, yeah,
if it's 2,000 feet, it's $200,000
Yeah,
divided by 15, divided by
you
13.
can't do that.
Why not?
Because
We're
you're
doing
talking.
the whole thing.
Yes, but he's not gonna pay for a portion of this to be upgraded.
All of them are going to pay.
They should not pay an equal share. The guy at the end should pay more than the guy in the beginning. The guy in the beginning needs 800 feet of road. The guy in the end needs 2,000 feet. The guy that needs 800 feet should not pay as much as the guy that needs 2,000. It's called rational nexus. It's done all the time.
yeah.
Could I make a comment?
Sure, please. We're on a roll up
Yeah.
here, can you tell?
The previous person who acquired a building permit across the street from me, maybe it was 6, 7, 8 years ago, he got a building permit, and he was required to get approval from the town road commissioner and to bring it up to their standard. So what's...
Bring the road up to their standards?
To the town commissioner, the road commissioner.
Yeah, the highway
Highway, yeah.
superintendent, which would be,
So what's changed?
that's what he brought it up to, was supposed to bring it up probably.
So if he brought it up
But
to
what-
a standard
there's
then,
There's two things that changed.
Yeah.
One, he probably didn't get it done right because he had to go to the selectmen to work, to do any work.
but he
on it.
signed off on it and said it was
I don't
approved.
think the selectmen were doing that.
No,
6, 7 years
which
ago.
it would slip by, which was the thing that was
It was wrong.
Wrong.
To be blunt.
And the highway superintendent, who knows what he laid out for specs, there's no, I don't
we
know
have
of any
no idea
record,
what
of
he
it, unless
thought
he
that
made a
was.
record of it someplace, and
That
who
was-
was the
Yeah.
road agent back
That was
then.
I mean,
Three
I'm
pe-
sure
three
they're on
people
file,
probably.
there's some,
No, it wasn't Tim.
some wording. on-
Probably Cal.
Yeah, probably.
Either Cal, or it could have been
But
I've been
Lloyd
on-
Bailey.
I've been on that road, and it's not brought
It's
up to
across the
anything.
street from me,
No,
so I'll
I
have to
know.
show you.
No, but they could have just said, bring in 6 inches of gravel and you're fine.
And that's what they did. They brought in some gravel and cut some
Sounds
trees
more
and
like
widened it
probably
at that
was
time.
Lloyd.
I can check the record.
Yeah.
See if there's we could check and see if there's a record, and I'll ask Benji. Benji might remember, he's been here long enough, worked for the
Right, he
town.
might know.
He
I mean,
came-
it's on file.
He's been here,
Yeah, if you had name or an address, and I'll
Yeah,
look it up.
I can give
You
it to
can
you.
call
Well, the
me.
planning board must have been the original perpetuator. We- the-
not always.
Well,
No.
no,
This
they were just building permits were, yeah,
Well,
okay.
it could have been, some of this
Last
is
3 or
so
4 years we weren't
convoluted, it
involved
could have
at all
been
either.
the zoning board, it could have been just,
or this could have preceded zoning.
yeah, so if you're talking 3 or 4 road agents, it could go back into the
Was it
80s.
before 1988?
He said 6, 7 years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, it wasn't that long ago,
Okay.
yeah. I mean,
But that was
So it
that
was what?
before
there were
Was it
two
back
houses,
that long?
there were 2 houses built there maybe the last 12 years. And
When was the subdivision created?
Oh, 86. He said that.
This
25 years
one I'm
ago.
on,
Yeah,
my particular property, or,
yeah.
I mean,
When was that created as a lot?
I think it was like 25 years ago. It's on record, they have it stamped.
I thought I saw somewhere.
like
in the
25 years ago.
I thought I saw in the zoning board minutes, it was 86.
Yeah, 1986. So that predates,
Predates zoning. yeah.
Today's zoning,
No,
but,
zoning was here.
but the houses, the permit for the houses, Chris is saying that
yeah,
it
but it
was
was,
after
basically,
88.
it wasn't much.
Oh, just getting started.
So they would have had building permits for those houses.
And that would have been back in the Everett Stone days,
Maybe both, maybe Everett and then Chip, if it was only 6,
Chip,
7 years
Chip's
ago.
only been here, yeah, Chip's been here,
I don't
what,
think so.
13
Yeah,
years.
Chip was here then, yeah.
But who knows?
The subdivision was approved quite a while ago, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Might be a start to see what happened with those, and then talk with Benji.
And then talk to Bill.
Well, I'm not sure that any of that is really relevant. the laws have changed, times have changed, and we have an opinion from council.
Yep.
We think we have an opinion from council
Yeah.
that requires a
opinion.
different set of standards. The fact that somebody in a preceding time was able to do something according to a different set of standards doesn't mean that that set of
Right.
standards is locked and fixed forever,
Right.
and any subsequent person can be held only to those standards.
So it's something I think that needs more research.
Well, we use the term grandfathering all the time. It seems so, you know, if I was living up there and this assessment came by, I don't know if I'd put my money into the assessment or hire an attorney, which most likely that's what will happen.
That could very well be the case, but
Which
the
would
point
cost you
is,
more.
the point
Well-
is, this Board of Selectmen are acting in accordance with legal advice from their attorney.
Yep.
And so this could turn out to be an expensive legal battle, but we have to go by what our town attorney tells us.
And I think we
can't
have to
ignore
research
that.
it. I think we have to research it a little more.
Well, we don't
Get
have that
the-
in front of us, but I guess
No,
we will.
that's what Jack is saying.
Yeah, we'll get the,
I think we need,
talk to Naomi and get a copy of it to everybody. I got a copy of it at home.
And I can review it with Benji.
Yep, and then Benji, and also look back to see what was done, if there's any record of some highway
Does it
superintendent
matter?
doing it. Well, no, just so we have the information at hand.
See what the criteria was.
See what the criteria was back then. Who knows what they said? They could have told them, yeah, you gotta bring it up to class 5 specs, you gotta bring at least 6 inches of, crushed bank run in and keep it da-da-da-da, but, I don't know.
But even if that's the case, and even if,
That just sets a different precedent, that's all.
exactly, it's
It
not
doesn't-
binding here.
No, but it may be binding to the fact that, we did it already, so you gotta continue on that way. So, I mean, if he was bringing it up to class 5 specs by bringing 6 inches of gravel and laying out what needed to be done, I don't know, we don't know what was said. But I'd like to see what the record said.
So what are you gonna go back to, 86?
So what we're telling you, I think, is, we don't know,
Who knows? Could be 12 years ago,
and
we don't know.
we're going to look into it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Chris is basically here because according to his variance, he had to come see the planning board.
Right.
So
Well,
that
yeah,
was-
we-
well, the other part of the variance, the last approval goes to the Board of Selectmen also,
Right.
by the statute.
and the selectmen always usually ask for a
Well,
recommendation.
usually it's been going the other way around. It's done, and then we don't hear about it until instead of making the stop to us lots of times. We found that to be true with a couple of things. They took what was the planning board and the ZBA, and it was like, okay, that was it. And didn't come
Never
back.
talk to you.
Never talked to us, yeah.
Okay.
So you're gonna talk to Naomi, see if we can get
So I
Drescher's
have
letter.
Naomi, then you can review the legal opinion. I'm gonna look up some of the history, and then I'm gonna speak with Benji.
I'll get back to you and
Yeah.
least give you the address.
Sure, you can give me a call tomorrow, and then I'll look up some of the files for you.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Should we have him back in the agenda in 2 weeks, or should we wait a month?
Chris, if you
Mr.
wanna
Bernard,
come
whoa,
back-
whoa, whoa, whoa.
You wanna come back and see the board in 2 weeks when they meet again?
See if we gained any, see what we gained?
Yeah.
But you live in Londonderry though, right? Is that okay?
So you
Thank
go
you.
down- You can go down and inflame your allergies with all the dust-covered boxes and the archives.
Yeah. Hey. My office used to be down there when I was health
This, I
officer
think,
the
is
first
yours.
couple
Yeah, I
of years.
remember.
Oh, no, this is
Down the
Kelly's.
old police station.
Nobody wants it?
No, that's hers.
Oh.
She was willing to lend it.
Share.
Somebody wrote in this agenda, Kelly's report.
We have minutes to do first.
Okay, you wanna do minutes first?
Yeah. And then I wrote on the agenda, I have a couple of things to ask you.
Mr. Kirk took the time and effort to make his corrections and sent them out, I guess. Courtney did not get them. Thank you, Mr. Kirk.
You're welcome. In the absence of
What's that?
It's better than
John
taking-
Van and Bruce.
Oh, minutes.
It's better than taking the minutes, right?
Well
The
put.
two choices, sure. He had a couple blanks, and I have a couple corrections. On the second page, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth line up, Rosemary Conroy of blank. I don't know either.
I think she's Poor Farm Road.
Who's that?
Rosemary
Rosemary
Conroy.
Conroy.
I think that is.
Poor Farm Road.
I thought it was.
She's
too.
the artist.
Yeah.
you want me to look up her address?
No, I can.
Okay.
Then the 2 lines up from the bottom, it says Frederick Jr. crossed out and Tamara. Tamara wasn't here the last time. So Tamara should be taken out too. On the 3rd page, you have a bunch of question marks. Must note driveway grading. Must note driveway grading plan is on file at town office. That's all I had.
Move the minutes be approved as amended.
Can I ask a question? When you added a 2 with a cross out, is that Mr. Burke?
Page?
Page 3, last line.
Oh, what was the 2?
I just had 3-0.
Oh, there's a, when I printed this out, there's a 2 there.
Maybe it went all the way down off the page.
Okay,
and I didn't
just-
know.
Page and
Thank
then-
you.
Okay, just delete it.
Great. This is wonderful, thank
We'll see if the tape works.
Second? I'll second. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Pass. Now we got Kelly's report.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we've never had a report from anybody before.
Or should I put it on the agenda? Because I think I'm gonna have questions for a while until I learn your process.
I think you can ask questions.
No.
So that way I don't have to fight you at work all.
Doesn't matter either way.
So, Mr. Fillmore asked me to check the status on the tree buffer line on Woodbury.
Actually, it's Mr. Fillmore and I asked you.
Mr. Fillmore and Mr. Philip Ferguson.
I've called you Kelly
That's
for the
right,
last
okay,
month.
okay. I'll call you correct then. Anyways, I was asked to check on the tree line buffer for the daycare on Woodbury. So I called the applicant, and she did state that she did plant one weeping willow because she had a water problem out back. She thought that would help. And talking with the neighbors, there is now a problem where they wanna, where you approve to put the trees, the neighbor has a solar array system there. So apparently the 2 neighbors got together with the property owner, and they've come up with a better idea on a tree buffer. So I don't know which
What's the
way you
better
want to
idea?
proceed, whether they submit something and you review it. Do you want them to come in? Do you need a hearing to revise an already approved plan? What's your pleasure?
How significant is the proposed, is the agreed-on solution from what was approved by the
So-
board?
A different location and different kind of tree, different number of trees. I didn't get the plan yet. It's
I
just,
think-
the neighbor was really adamant about it was his
But they've worked something
choice to
out.
make this a tree buffer, and he wants to
So,
design.
if everybody's happy, can we just have them file that and we'll,
Is it an amendment?
It's gotta be filed as an amendment. It's gotta be,
We could have an amendment, file it as an amendment to what we put forth, or a request to amend it.
And you do not record your site plans, correct? You're just
Correct.
signed and they're approved, okay. That makes it easier.
what does it mean you do not record? You mean in the registry?
Yeah, some towns record their site plan decisions, conditions.
Are all parties agreeable to this revision?
I have
or
not talked to I have not talked to the owners since the 2 neighbors were calling and
okay.
emailing
you
me
know,
today.
that's my problem. If
The
we
neighbors,
don't, know that the person who wanted the buffer is agreeing.
yeah, we don't know,
The one- the
so
one
I
that
think at
wanted
that point, yeah.
So I guess that's where I'm looking for some guidance. Do you want me to?
2 of the neighbors can
meet
say
with
they
them
want
and
this,
come
but
up
doesn't
with-
mean they're gonna get it.
It doesn't mean the guy that we were talking about originally wanted it.
Yeah.
He may not be what he wants.
And I explained that to the neighbor today because he wanted to come in and tell you how the trees were gonna be.
No.
And I said, well, it's Mrs. Casper, she's the applicant, she's the one with the approved plan.
I would say that, you know,
But I can meet with them and come up with a design
Read-
and bring that back to you,
or
or you can have them.
talk to
come in.
Mrs. Casper first.
Oh, yes, be.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can't,
Oh,
and
no.
see what her take is on it, and if
Do you, if there...
she doesn't agree to it, then I guess, she goes with what we've
Then
approved.
she has to go with what you've already.
Assuming that Mrs. Casper and everybody else is in agreement, is it necessary that there be another public hearing and everybody
Yes.
get noticed?
I think so.
Wow.
I don't know if everybody, well, the two of the parties are gonna be, probably come in anyway, so that'd be what you notice, but I think they'd have to come in for a hearing and file it.
But the two may not be the one one that was talked about before, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
There was one, the gentleman that requested the buffer, he's the one, I believe his first name was Joe, if that rings a bell. No.
Yeah.
No, Joe Casper. This is
No,
a
no,
second
it's
Joe?
No, yeah, it was a neighbor Joe.
Is there some way that we can make this easy for everyone and accept this, I'm going to call it, minor change without going through a whole reopening process?
I think
and
they'd have to
it
come.
on record?
I don't know, I would say that we'd have to have something in writing, so that shows that, and then have them come in and come to it on the record and say that this is what, all of the parties involved that decided to do this. I don't think it's a hearing so much, but have them all come in and put it on the record that they approved.
It would have to be a formal amendment if you've already approved the plan.
Yes.
It's in my past
written full-
experience, it would have to
Yes,
at least be a full board making a motion to
amendment.
accept the amendment.
Why? It's a trivial,
It may be trivial to you, but it may not be trivial to the abutters.
May not be
or the
trivial to
applicant.
some of the people involved.
Is the solar array actually in place?
I have not seen that,
Yeah?
Chuck, I'm sorry, no, I hadn't gone out to the site yet, this just all
Okay.
came about in the last few days. So that's why I thought I would
And
go
if
out
she
there and meet
doesn't
with them
wanna-
and take
if
pictures
she-
for you and see
Yeah, if
exactly
she
what's
doesn't
going
think
on
that-
and report back as
Mrs.
code
Gasper doesn't
enforcement.
think that, she's not in agreement with it, so then,
no, that's a
they're-
different matter.
Then they're up the creek
Exactly.
without a paddle.
But assuming that Mrs. Casper is in agreement,
And put it in
and
writing.
all of the abutters are in agreement,
If all the abutters are in agreement,
okay? And
As long as it's in
assuming
writing.
that's the case, and everybody signs off on that, and we get a document saying, here's the changes, and everybody agrees, A, B, C, and D sign it, is there some way that we can accept that without having to revise and go through the formalities?
what's the big formality about sending out an abutters notice and
Having them,
Mrs. Casper taking a pen and writing something on the plan?
and then bringing the
And bringing it
revision
in.
and then bringing the revision to us to be
Right.
put in the file.
We'll waive a fee for this.
Yeah.
It's not much a fee anyway, but you're talking $10 for how many abutters?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the engineer.
She's not,
Seven?
no, 6, because
Six or
I'm
seven?
saying forget the stamp and do it herself.
She could do her own amendment.
Yeah.
She wouldn't
Yeah,
have
and
to
then
have it
bring the
stamped.
written amendment in with the,
Right.
White out the survey, white out the previous guy's stamp.
Do you want to look at the plan that you approved? Do you want to,
Pretty much remember it, but
if you can remember?
Yeah, but this was stamped with the existing plan. I don't think an amendment works, does it?
I don't
Well,
think that would make a difference.
I wouldn't want to stamp a plan and say, oh, this is what happened in the meantime, or subsequently.
Well, you'd have a,
You didn't stamp the plan.
So there was 8 abutters. One of them is Art, the engineer. Sisson. So if you don't have him.
he's one of the abutters also.
Well, you
that's-
have to,
you-
you have to notify.
Yeah, well, he's notified because he was the engineer of record. Yeah.
Right, but you don't have to on an amendment if he's not going to do any work.
Yeah.
We do have to send him a notice that we amended the plan because it's his
Yeah.
original plan.
So, yeah, I think that's, contact her and see if this is what she wants to do. If she doesn't, then it's a moot point.
So the tree buffer is C note 10, 5 to 6 foot tall, and I scanned this to her when I called her. 5 to 6 tall fir trees shall be planted starting.
She's got a
at the-
weeping willow.
I think she knows it's not one of the 5 or 6
Yeah.
foot tall ones.
That and 5 of the fir trees, 5 like spruce trees.
So you're saying that to amend this note, and that's the only thing we're going to be doing,
we need a public hearing.
to take the words 5 to 6?
No, to change the location of this and to change that both.
No.
This is moving.
Oh, they're moving the location of the
Yes,
trees?
yes.
Yeah,
I want to see the drawing to see how significant change there is, but yes,
'cause it's,
from what I hear, that's what they want to do, move the location of the trees.
okay. I would reach out to,
I think we have to
Because
hear.
one of the last 2, I think, are interfere with the sun shining on the solar array. And I don't know which came first.
well,
Well, okay, maybe you're right, Craig, in this case, because I remember that in this particular application, the location, the kind of trees, and the buffer itself was a very
To one of these two
lengthy
people.
discussion.
To one of these two people is,
so I
I don't
would
remember which
say,
one it was, but
I mean, the big crux of the matter is too, is talk to Mrs. Gasper.
Yeah, and they may
And
wanna
if,
put
and if she
them-
says, no, I'm not agreeing, I didn't agree to any of this, then
Then
okay.
it's a moot point.
Then it's a moot point,
Then
and
I
go
will come
for
back
it.
and tell the
And
board
they may
that.
agree they want them just right beside the right-of-way line and mess up the line of sight. We don't want to do that either. Might put them in a bad place.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I think we
And then
can, I think we can,
the solar panel, just so that you know, the solar panel is drawn on the plan. So it's not like they didn't,
on this one?
yes.
Where?
Look down, where it says
Oh,
maintenance
solar panel.
easement to be deeded for solar panel.
Wow. They're worried
So
about the,
he's got
they're
a
worried about.
deeded right to put a solar panel on the Casper property?
As far as I know, I haven't looked up
we'll have to
the
look at
right.
that again.
To be deeded.
To be deeded, who knows if it is deeded?
Well, it might have been, and that, so that by the time that I were, checked on the status, maybe it already happened. Maybe the panel
Well,
was on.
nobody's filed it.
Yeah, but if that's north, I can't imagine.
No, it's facing south.
Yeah. The trees are,
Unless it's a tractor
And
type.
this is west.
Unless it's one of those tractor type.
well,
Does it
yeah,
look
but
like the
it's-
trees affect the sunlight on the
yeah,
solar?
they're about
What's the
to
distance?
200 feet, 300 feet?
This is 20 feet wide.
Use my fancy scale, that's 120.
How could
100,
these trees
160.
possibly affect this?
I don't see it myself, but that's okay. I guess when the trees
It
get,
might
In the
not,
winter-
but that's
when the
what
trees get
Joanne,
80 feet high, they might,
Yeah, but by that time,
maybe. The
Or in the winter, they.
solar panel's gonna need replaced by that time.
I mean,
by that time, nobody's gonna, probably, some of these people aren't gonna be around to worry about it. By the
I'm
time the
not.
trees get that high.
Okay.
so
I
is it
was-
okay if I meet with them first, find out, get a plan?
Talk to her and find out what
It's
her.
significant enough, I can tell them we need a hearing.
Yeah, we'll waive the application fee for it, but
Yeah.
I think we can do that, but we still want to be a
Like I said,
public
If I'm on the
notice.
borderline about significant or not, I'll contact you.
she's
on the
gonna be
borderline,
the
go
one
for
that's
it.
gonna drive this one way or the other. She's gonna be the
Yeah.
controlling factor. If she says, no, I don't want this, then
And I
it
explained
dies.
that to the abutter today, that it's really up to Joanne, she's the applicant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they can't,
I thought you had said that all of the abutters and the applicant had agreed. But you're saying, no, the abutters have agreed, but not the applicant.
yeah.
Okay.
They're kinda trying to,
When I called her, she let me know that one of the neighbors would like the trees in a different place because of his solar. And that kind of raised a flag, and next thing I know, I'm getting calls from the neighbors, so. And that was one. You are going to have a conditional use permit coming up for a kennel?
Cool, we changed the zoning for that.
Yes, you
And
did,
why are you bringing this up?
just to let you know.
Oh,
Under my-
okay.
a kennel?
Yes.
A kennel. It's under conditional use permit.
Yep.
So
Oh,
that's the
okay.
planning board.
Yeah.
It's not special exception or variance. It's
Yeah.
allowed in our district by conditional use permit. And we had some construction down on the dental office, the existing dental office. and
Yes.
We've been doing inspections on it. It's not an expansion per se, but I didn't know if you needed, if they grade that new parking area.
Oh, well, they took all the trees out up here, yeah.
So they're increasing the number of parking, and they took the trees out. Does that affect your site plan?
I think that dental was there a site plan for that dental office?
I don't know.
If it was,
And that's been there for donkey's years.
Yeah, because the only thing I'm not sure of is the drainage, what's behind there, residential houses?
how much they,
Just didn't know if we were gonna be
I
getting calls
think,
on that.
I think it goes right into their yard around the back, out onto Woodbury Road.
how much more parking are they adding?
What you,
pavement.
Nobody right behind them,
What you
is
see
I think
clear
there's
is
an
gonna be-
access to the back of the
How
building
much
from
was it?
Woodbury.
How much is it,
No,
right, bigger?
No,
Because our site plan regs say if you increase by 200 feet, 200 square feet.
I asked her for a drawing, and I think that's it.
yeah.
I like the colors.
Did she come to you or did you go to her?
We saw construction going on and sent a letter, and then they came in to apply for their permits. And then couple of days
pretty much
later, we
staying
saw
there.
all the trees were cut down, so then I asked her about the parking. And if they were expanding, or they were, because she told me there wasn't any exterior construction, but then I saw all the trees cut down, so I asked. I said, if you could just show me what you're doing with the parking area, and I'll check with the planning board to see if you need anything.
So according to her, she's adding this little bump out over here.
And is the parking going to be paved?
Yes, parking area is going to be paved.
And
But
what's
not,
there now
not
is
the
paved?
access off the state road, just down in
Well,
her
isn't that, I
lot.
think part of the access is already paved off the state road.
The two,
isn't it?
yes. She has
it
two.
is.
She has two
An
access.
entrance and exit
Yeah,
type, two.
yeah. Yeah, we
And
had
that's
that
paved.
discussion because she would have to go to the state driveway permit for that.
Yeah, and it's, so she's already got that, so.
Right.
And, you know, as far as any drainage to the back,
Four more
it's her
parking
property,
places,
right out to
36
Woodbury
by
Road. I think if
24.
you gain access, there's a driveway that goes in the back.
Yeah, you can drive
600,
around back.
800.
Yeah,
60.
from Woodbury.
860.
So there's no other houses, I don't think, in the back.
I guess
that would be
technically, yes.
impacted, so.
Right?
She's adding more than 200? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, she's
And
adding.
therefore,
She's adding more than 200 square feet of parking?
Right.
Okay.
If you look at this
'Cause I think you're-
sketch with the existing, she's adding 24 by 36 there, which is 864,
Yeah.
something like that,
like
which
that.
is more than 200
Yep.
for our regs, so yes.
Do you want her to come in and talk to you on a workshop night, or do you want,
she needs to submit a...
She needs to submit an application.
Yep.
application for change?
Site plan.
Yeah, I guess a site plan,
Yeah, things that
Or
would change.
yeah.
amendment, or whatever you call it, yeah, amendment to the site plan.
And Greg, that can be handled pretty quickly, right?
Yes, I'm only worried about drainage. That's really only concern we got is drainage
Yeah, I
coming off of
mean,
it.
the other
And
thing,
the
like you
last-
said, there's no other houses that have been impacted behind it, because
think
it
so.
goes right to the back of her place, or their place.
Drive down the road and stop and look once, but I don't think there is anything back there. The
No,
road,
I've
the
been
road
go down, I've
itself.
been down, I was just down Woodbury the other day, and I go, you know, you go down and you're looking at the back
Yeah.
of the building, so, I mean, there's a driveway access,
You
or,
want to ask Benji if there's any issues down Woodbury down through there, but I can't imagine.
no, I don't think so. They've done a lot of work out through
Yeah.
there over the years, so.
And the last one is, there was a gentleman that has the barbecue smokehouse at Nana's Shack
Mhm.
now, would like to park a bus or a storage unit for indoor seating. I didn't know if you would consider that a,
Oh, we certainly would.
Yes, I think that would be,
What would-
that would need a
What
site
did Gary,
plan.
what did Gary want? He wanted to park use a bus to have an indoor seating, like a
Yeah.
portable restaurant,
yeah.
that's a genius, I'll give him that.
So,
What about the building that's already there, the
So-
trailer that's already attached to that
right, so
building?
he wants to put it on the side of the building, because if he adds to the building, or even, I suggested enclosing that deck for winter seating, he said it would cost too much in taxes. So his idea was to put something that was mobile and wouldn't be taxed. So it
It's a
would
good way to do it.
be a enclosed trailer or bus.
I would, that's a genius. But isn't there an issue with that?
So there was an issue with the
When-
wetlands.
The wetland
Well,
buffer,
that, and the other
wetlands-
thing was when Tina was looking at it, they couldn't put a restaurant inside because of the requirements for restrooms.
And this would, if we classify it in indoor seating, I think state health would have issues.
Well, yeah, he's gonna have several issues. I can see wetland setback, wetland buffer, parking.
Is he considered a mobile food unit?
No, this would be cooking at the,
He has a,
Is he considered that now?
no.
he has a catering unit, but I mean, he
He's
doesn't,
has,
licensed?
he has what Nana Shack has.
and it's snacks.
Well, not self-inspection, so I didn't do the license.
Nana's had a building in which she prepared food.
Two buildings,
Attached
actually.
to that was, I thought, a mobile home.
It's an office trailer, double
Yes.
wide, like
Office
office trailer,
trailer.
yep.
And
That's the
she was, that's the bakery.
Right.
And she did food
Is he
prep in there.
taking over the bakery?
Yes, he has everything right
He's
now.
taking over everything.
That bakery is counted as real, is that taxed as real estate?
Yes.
Okay. And if he has the bakery, why can't he convert the bakery into what he wants?
He does all his prep there.
The kitchen in this, in the original building is very small, where he does the cooking and some of the prep and storage, and then the other one has storage and also has a facility for prep work and cooking in there. And that was part of it. I know at one point, I believe that Tina was looking to put seating in there, and I remember Chip talking about it, that they couldn't get it because of the setbacks from the, wetlands, and the fact that it needed to have a septic system.
And a
with-
restroom.
So
Restrooms.
many seats you have to have
Yeah.
at least a unisex bathroom.
Yeah.
If not
Yeah,
ADA
now
or
you
two.
can have the
Yeah,
unisex.
well, you have to have
ones.
ADA.
Yeah,
I
ADA.
don't think a school bus will fit that. And then
Well.
life safety code tells you have to have so many seats with an aisle way for an exit.
Yeah.
I mean, so there are some other issues, but as far as site plan.
Like I said, it's an ingenious thought, but, I mean, you gotta give him,
Yeah.
credit for
And he's
that.
just wants to know, if it's gonna cost too much,
So what, so
Yes, he needs a full site plan application. Wetland buffer, parking, septic are all
but
issues.
some of that he's probably already got. The parking, they've been doing out there anyway, but I mean, I think some of it's probably on, but he's gonna have to make a lot of.
you might also want to check the original file, because one of the things I believe that was required when Nanas first went in was that a roof,
She's made several small expansions since the site plan was approved.
well, there was supposed to be a roof and over the bakery, the double wide.
Yeah.
A pitched roof, and that hasn't been done.
A pitched roof going out to the deck?
No, pitched roof, in other words, like you take a
Oh, on
mobile
the
home and
whole
then put a
unit, yeah, yeah,
pitched
yeah.
roof
Right.
over the mobile home, like you truss it up and put one over
And-
it, so.
and-
Okay.
So I think there may be some violations there as a result of that. So
Okay.
you might want to check what the original site
Now,
plan
she
was.
still owns all the buildings and land. He must be just renting as a business.
I believe he's just leasing it, yeah. I don't know.
That was it. I was hoping to have more to tell you about Mr. Phillips, but he has not responded back to me after my second email. so.
Kelly, I had a question. Let's say 3/10 of a mile before you get to John Stark on the left side, I see a business sign.
We had that discussion
already. Okay.
Yes, but I did look into that today and I saw it, but I'm not sure exactly what size it's supposed to be, but apparently it may be too big for that district. I'll have to look into it.
I don't know about that. I was just curious.
I just saw it today.
Yeah, the sign, yeah, I
But
think it
that
violates.
What is this?
All of a sudden, and to give you the background, I talked to Kelly about it because I got a call from our former building inspector who drove through it, all of a sudden the sign appeared. And I says, I've been up there, and it wasn't there like a week before, and now all of a sudden the sign's popped up.
Where is
Yeah.
this?
Right on 114 North, up towards the high school.
But where in relationship to the garage,
Just beyond it.
Just
Beyond
beyond
it.
it.
between the garage and the high school?
Yeah.
Left or right?
On the left.
Left-hand
As you're
side,
driving
Going
up.
north,
Going
yeah,
north,
You can't see the sign unless you're coming back.
south.
But that Patriot Wholesalers just bought that property,
Yeah.
and he moved from another location, and I remember him calling and
That-
asking me, is it allowed? And we went through the whole zoning in the
That's, is
district.
that,
He's
uh,
allowed as a home business, but he never said anything about a sign.
yeah,
So we'll
is
get a
that,
sign permit.
is that in the,
Watts, is it last name Watts?
the old,
It was a residential home.
yeah, the
Yes.
residential home up on the
Home
hill?
office, yeah.
The one up on the hill with the circular driveway,
Yeah.
yeah. They did a
Yeah.
lot of work up there. I was trying to think of who the name was, but yeah, I can't.
Yeah,
Reed.
and I just saw it today, so tomorrow I'll look into that as well.
And I
as
think they're
another
doing
one.
something at the old Naylor Wood turning property too. I see them digging out there, and there was a
I
fuel
think you're
tank
only
on a
allowed 2 a
trailer.
week to tell me.
Oh, what's happening
I
in
have
the week?
four new home permits coming this week.
There you go.
Kelly, did Naomi told me that you and she were going to be meeting about code enforcement philosophy. Did that meeting occur?
We've talked several times about my methods and what the board expects.
Methods to your madness.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And I told her that I talked with you as well.
I told her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Is that a motion? I'm not gonna declare anything. We'll sit here all night, you're waiting for me to declare it.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Would you mind asking for those opposed?